Hey guys, welcome back to another PS2 Memories video. Here we are actually taking a look at a unique arcade racing game by the name of Battlegear 3 that was actually released for the PlayStation 2 in Japan only back in 2003. This series of games is actually a continuation from the side-by-side series of arcade games that was later called the Battlegear series in Japan only. So this is actually a pure arcade racing game, but it also has very realistic style graphics that actually really push the power of the PlayStation 2 to its limits. And it also rivals the likes of some of the better graphically impressive racing games that were also on the system, the likes of Gran Turismo 3, 4, Enthusia and others like it. The game offers up a number of different tracks that you can race on, all visually very appealing, just like the cars in the game. And the amount of cars that are available features up to 64 licensed car models from 6 official manufacturers from the likes of Honda, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru and Toyota. So with it being an arcade game, you do have access to a load of different types of options. You have time trial, you have versus modes, but you also do have a main type of campaign mode where you can race and then you can upgrade your cars buying aftermarket parts that you can get from earning currency for winning races and the like, so that you can upgrade your car so that you can improve your performance later into the game. The game also does have access to online features as well, but again this was only available in the Japanese region, where you could play online, like head-to-head play amongst one other person at a time. The game itself actually houses an impressive selection of Japanese iconic sports cars from the likes of the late 90s, early 2000s. Anything from the likes of the Honda NSX, the Mazda RX-7, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3, 4 and even 5. You even have access to the Nissan Fairlady Z, Nissan Skyline, both the R32, R33 and R34 GTR models. You have a Subaru Legacy, the Impreza WRX. You have a Lexus IS, or what's also known as the Toyota Altezza. There's also a Toyota Supra, Honda S2000, Honda Integra, Honda Civic, even Mazda RX-8, Mitsubishi FTO, Nissan Silvia 180SX, Toyota Celica GT4, Toyota MR2, different variations of the Mazda Roadster, or the Miata, or commonly known as the MX-5. And then you even have other variations of the MRS Spider, Toyota Sprinter, Corolla Vitz, or it's pretty much known as the Aris here in Europe, Honda Fit, Mazda Demio, Mitsubishi Colt and Nissan March. So again, there's definitely an impressive selection of cars, all catered around different types of players that start from low levels, from the likes of the Honda Fit, Nissan March and Mazda Demio and the likes. It starts off with low level cars and then you work your way up then to the more higher end cars, likes of the Nissan Skylines, Honda NSXs and the like. But even aside from the impressive selection of cars that are available, one of the key things to note, and one of its best features, if not the best feature of the game, is the graphical representation of the models, the car models, even the environments that you race in. Plus, one of the other best characteristics about the game is that even though it is a solid arcade racer, the one thing that the developers really took into consideration is the handling characteristics of each of the car models in the game. This game is actually, having played a lot of PlayStation 2 racing games, and believe me, there's a lot of PlayStation 2 racing games. A lot of them do have their quirks and they have their really good characteristics, but they also do have their flaws and their weaknesses. But the one thing this game really gets right is the handling physics. This here is easily, from having spent time actually playing it, is actually one of the best handling aesthetics in any racing game that I've ever played on the PlayStation 2. Even for an arcade racer, it's so responsive and feels very authentic and very real, because a lot of games don't have this fluency when you're actually trying to control the vehicles on the screen at any time. And to actually have that mix of being able to have great handling physics on top of the selection of cars and even very impressive visuals, is definitely one of the best visually impressive games on the PlayStation 2, hands down. It's actually a really complete package. The only other games really apart from that are the likes of Enthusia and the Gran Turismo series that would actually be on the same level as this, if not a little bit better in some respects, considering how well known the likes of Gran Turismo is. but this game in its own right definitely stands toe to toe with those games, and especially the fact is that it's more arcade focused. It means that you can actually have a lot of really good fun with this game. Now, even myself personally, even actually having spent time playing this game, I have to say I really enjoyed this. I just love the visual aesthetic, even down to the car models. They're modelled in a way that is very realistic. Everything looks just as close to the original concepts as possible. And from having played and owned a lot of racing games on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, I'm actually just in awe of how good the graphics actually are in this game. They definitely really showcase the actual power of the PlayStation, and it really shows that the PlayStation 2 was definitely a lot more capable and being able to produce high quality games like this than we were ever thought even possible. So this is a great achievement. As you can see on the screen, the graphics really just are incredible. There's no ifs or buts about it. The game itself, even with all those fantastic achievements, does actually offer a really presentable and adequate challenge. The game does get more difficult the further into the campaign and the races that you actually get. But that's exactly what you want from a game like this. You don't want it to be too easy. You want to have a good balance between simplicity and difficulty as well. So at least that way then it can keep you on your toes. And again, each of the cars that you drive in the game all have their own unique abilities and handling characteristics that really kind of appeals to the nature of the game and actually only progresses the experience even further. And it's a pity that this game only got a release in Japan, because this game would have done really well if it had been released in other regions, and it's a pity that we didn't actually get to see it over here. But at least now we actually have the means and the ability to be able to play it. So this is definitely one of those games that I really do recommend that you actually try out, especially if you're into racing games, especially arcade racing games, and especially something that looks as good visually as this here and actually has a good mix of both cars, tracks, handling characteristics. This game does actually have it all, and it's actually a hidden gem. I didn't even know myself that this game was even going to be as good as it was when I first actually seen it, and I wanted to try it out, and I'm completely blown away by how good this game actually is. This is actually, even though I played it only for a short period, already I can clearly see from having played other games in the past, this is easily one of the best games or best racing games on the system, hands down. Each of the races in question, when you're driving around the tracks, will always keep you on your toes, because even though you think you actually have the upper hand, if you do make a mistake at any point, the computer controlled cars don't be long catching up with you, so you really do have to have your wits about you when you're playing this game. But I just can't get over the visual quality of this game, especially for a PlayStation 2 game that was released back in the early 2000s. It actually showed what was even possible back then, and it showed the real true quality of the PlayStation. And there's only a handful of racing games that I've seen on the system that were really able to match this level of quality in terms of the visual representation of the game. So it's completely just astounding what they were able to achieve with this game. And again, I'm all for racing games. I'm absolutely a big car fanatic, and I just love all the Japanese style cars, and the fact that you get to play all these cars and actually have it in a really good package, and the fact is that it's an arcade racer, is definitely one that really should be looked into. And I know that this series, from having done research, is actually really popular in Japan in the arcades. So this is an extremely good port of an already very popular and well put together title. So I do highly recommend that you actually go and have a look at this, or even get the chance to try it out if you can actually find the means to do so. You won't be disappointed. This is actually a really good game, and I highly recommend you just go and check it out. If you're into car games at all, like myself, or even into cars in general, this is definitely something that you have to try, and you'll be amazed at how good it actually is. The handling alone in the cars, you'll be completely just shocked by how good the handling physics are in the game. It's definitely one of the best on the PlayStation 2 system, in my opinion. I definitely think you'll enjoy it. So like I said, go and check it out and see what you think for yourself. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are of this game itself. Did you even know about it? And if so, did you actually even manage to play it? Or even if you had any experiences with the games in the arcade, or even this port in general. I'd love to hear what you think, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of these style of videos where I do explore other similar style racing games and arcade games that were released on the PlayStation 2, where I share my thoughts and experience with everyone, then make sure to leave a like on the video. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever future videos are released. And also make sure to check out some of the other videos on the channel where I do provide reviews and other gameplay videos of similar style games that were also released on the system back in the day. So again, be sure to check them out, and I'll see you all over in the next one.